including astrological visionaries and followers of noetic sciences, that the Mayan long count calendar, which ends on the 21st of December 2012 and closing a cycle of 5,125 years, may represent the date of climatic or apocalyptic change in the world as we know it. And this is taken from the document 2012 Doomsday, the Mayan Prophecy, page 1. Again, page 3 of the document tells us, as the year 2012 quickly approaches, there is much speculation about a doomsday scenario or cataclysmic event. Many theories are being published on different websites throughout the internet, some with scientific facts and others with prophecies of a coming global change. Again, we are told in another document, 2012 Doomsday Prophecy False, says Canadian archaeologist, page 1. The Doomsday Prophecy comes from an ancient carved monument found from the Mayan region, which covers the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, and Ecuador. The region had been home to the indigenous Mayan people since 900 years BC. The monument, called the Tortuguero Monument 6, says the world will come to an end on the 21st of December 2012. According to the document, 11:11 a.m. on that day marks the completion of the 5,125-year-long cycle of the ancient Mayan calendar. The closing of the cycle is believed to spell the end of the world and the start of a new cycle, of the new cycle. So then, therefore, in the long calendar, the calendar has the long calendar has 5,125 years, and it starts from 3,114 years BCB, before Christ's birth, and ends literally 2012 on 11 minutes past 11 on the 21st of December 2012. That's the end of this long calendar. And we are told since time runs out, according to this long calendar, the world is going to come to an end. And that is if you believe the Mayans. Now, what we need to do is to take a look at this same calendar. And let's see if we can read the actual quotation from this monument. Now, there are different translations of it. Let me read one of the translations for you, first of all. I'm reading from Wikipedia 2012 Phenomenon, from the Tortuguero Monument 6. Here is what we are told. I quote, "The 13th Ba'akton will end on 4 Ajor, the 3rd of Yuniu, the 3rd Ka'ankin, black will occur. It will be the descent of Bolan Yukti Ka to the great or red." And that's how it is. That's that allegedly confusing translation. That's the actual translation. Now, page 4 of the same document. Very little is known about the god or gods, Bolton Yukti Ka. Possible translation of his or their name include, I quote, 9 support gods. Now this is how the Mayans used to reason, 9 support gods. They're dealing with the gods and they call them 9 support gods. Like a god may have 9 supports making him up. It goes on. 9 support gods, that may be one translation. Many strides God. 9 dog tree. The tree symbolizes something, a dog symbolizes something, and 9 dogs is the tree to the power of 9 dogs, whatever that God is. Or many root tree. He, the same God, appears in other inscriptions as a god of war, conflict, and the underworld. Right? End of quote. And so this is who Bolton Yukti Ka is. He is a god of war, conflict, and the underworld. Now, another important account of the 2012 date tells us the following, I quote, "A recent translation of a text from Tortuguero A classic Maya site in North Palenque points to the date December the 21st, 2012. The translation by Mayan epigrapher David Stewart, the legible part of the text reads, at the end of 13 Bactans on 4 Aho, 3 Kankin, something occurs when Bolton Yukti descends. The very glyph describing what happens is effaced, and it is replaced with the word something, but the creation Lord Bolton Yukti is depicted. Since we know what Bolton Yukti represents, we may assume that this means that 2012 was taught by the Mayans as a creation or recreation of the world, likely during a time of war, conflict, and dominance of the underworld and the lords of the underworld. Bolton Yukti represents all these qualities. So in other words, what the Amerindians or the Mayans are doing is that they're giving their way of checking time. And they're telling us at the end of that time, this god, Bolton Yukti, descends. And since he's the god of the underworld, the god of war and conflict and so on, the speculation is that at the end of December the 21st, 2012, 11/11, war and destruction is going to happen and the world is going to end. So you can see the whole thing, the whole concept is based upon the Mayan religious teachings, the Mayans' idea of their God and what the God is a God of, and at the end of their time. Listen to this, I quote, there are no specific markings or statements about the year 2012 on the archaeological artifacts at Izapa, but there are numerous images at Izapa that portray a rare celestial alignment that appears in the skies in the year around 2012. This galactic alignment marks the rebirth of the December solstice and the rebirth of the Sun Lord over 7 macaws attempts to replace him. End of quote. You see, so this is the teachings of the Mayans. So there is a scientific thing aligned, a scientific concept aligned for this end of the world 2012 scenario. What they believed is that the Milky Way galaxy, if you look at the Milky Way galaxy from the side, you would see on top there's a lot of stars compiled close together, and then you will see there's a space between that is dark, where there are probably hardly any stars, and then you'll see a little below there another concentration of stars. So you have a dark patch cutting straight across the Milky Way galaxy. On 2012, on the 21st of December, our sun and our solar system will align directly with this dark space in the very center, the very epicenter of the Milky Way galaxy. Now, this is something a person can observe with their eye if you observe over a period of years and you calculate over a period of years. This is what the Mayans found out will happen too. What they really found out here then is that the sun, who they worshipped as God, will lose his light as he goes into this dark path. And if he loses his light, people on the earth will lose the sun maintaining them, and so destruction comes. That will be the descent of Yukti, the god of the underworld. That's an actual Bolton Yukti. That's an actual religious teaching. So if you believe the 2012, you have to believe the Mayans' concept of their religion. Listen to this one here. The facts are, let me just show you this. It says this, Mayan calendars are no exception, and currently the Mayan calendar tradition calls attention to the day we call December the 21st, 2012. The Maya have been aware for hundreds of years that on the winter solstice day, a unique astronomical event will occur, a very rare conjunction of the sun with the ecliptic of the Milky Way galaxy. So the 21st of December is the winter solstice day. Solstice, sun stands still. That very same day is when there is this alignment. And that's what they knew. However, we need to ask ourselves the question, was it the God of the Bible? Was it the true God that gave them this revelation? All we have to do is to understand how the Mayans got their revelation, how